Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and the first sneak peek for the next update just dropped, and it's mutants, baby. Oh, very excited for this. We're gonna talk all about it, but first, a moment of silence for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever Part 2. Yeah, that sucks. I am still holding out hope. I'm still optimistic that they will do a Part 2 later. They still have to drop the M'Baku Collector's Vault. So maybe they're just delaying that for the Blu-ray/DVD release like they did for No Way Home Part 2, where it was like a few months later. I don't know. I know it seems like mad copium. I don't want to dump all over this update because we didn't get that update. Like that's not what it's about. So I'll keep it short. But yeah, I am still hoping for Black Panther Tier 4, Shuri, you know, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, that sucks. However, this is very cool. This storied mutant is ready to dominate her opponents in battle with her eminence magnetic skills. All right, this is sick. This is sick. This is over on Twitter. I was very excited. Here, let's check out the first sneak peek. This superhero with a storied past and lineage manipulates magnetic forces to keep her enemies in check. The green magnetic force. Check out the abilities of this superhero who will join Marvel Future Fight. So we're getting a brand new character. This is Polaris. If you don't know who Polaris is, we will talk about it. Very cool sneak peek. Let's check it out here. Yeah, the music is really good too. They got to use this music more often in MFF because it's really good music. Okay. Very nice. Now, did you catch it? There was a sneak peek inside the sneak peek. I don't know if you caught it at about 9 seconds into the video. If you pause it very briefly, 10 seconds, boom, there it was. Right around 10 seconds. You can see it there. You can see it right down there underneath the YouTube bar. T3. So Polaris is coming to the game immediately as a tier 3, which is exactly what we like to see. No more Katie, Wenwu garbage, right? No more M'Bakus, please. We need these characters to come into the game immediately at tier 3 or transcended, so that they can actually be useful and functional in most content, in all content, basically. So yeah, very, very cool there, Polaris. Whew. Now, why is Polaris important? Why are people so hype about a mutant update? It's not just because it's a mutant update, okay? We're going to get to who Polaris is in a second. But first, let me remind you, this is back in July of 2020. So we are going back 2.5 years. We're going back 30 months. All right? These were the results. This was the Q&A feedback results for what we had been asked to tell the devs about what we wanted in the game. Okay, because the game was sort of at a crossroads back in 2020, and the devs seemed like they didn't really know what we wanted as players. So these were the top 10 content improvement requests. It's kind of funny to go back and look at these things because like they didn't do anything to fix timeline battle, even though it was by far the most voted, which is kind of sad. And the challenger shit doesn't count. World Boss, they improved. Danger Room, they just murdered. Alliance Conquest, they never improved. Story Mode, they improved. Shadowland, they never improved. They murdered Squad Battle. GBR, they improved. Dimension Mission, they did nothing. And then Alliance Battle, they improved. So overall, they improved more than they murdered. But yeah, it's funny. Anywho, top 10 new uniforms. They nailed all of these. The only one, every single person on this list got a uniform. The only kind of flop uniform out of all these uniforms was Dormammu. Every other uniform was amazing for its time, and some of them are still amazing, like Adam Warlock. And then top 10 new character requests. Let's take a look at this list, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, Sentry. Wow, what a surprise. Number 2, Havoc. Very cool. Galactus. Interesting. Spider-Woman. So we already got Sentry. We already got Spider-Woman. Oh, wow. Who's number 5? Polaris. Oh, Polaris. Very cool. So we're finally getting Polaris. Then we get Omega Red, Heracles, Cloak and Dagger, Kang the Conqueror, and Null. We already have Null, but then we don't have any of the other characters. So this list is by far the most neglected. This is the most neglected list for what we were hoping to get. We should be getting Kang in a few months with Ant-Man, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Hercules, probably not. But Omega Red, Polaris, Havoc, and maybe even Cloak and Dagger have a chance of being dropped, if not now, very soon. Especially the first three that I mentioned, Havoc, Omega Red, and Polaris. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited. This could be an epic quest. I'm not saying it has to be an epic quest. It could be an epic quest. Some people are saying this is an epic quest because of the mutant being storied. This storied mutant. That's not exactly what that's not. It doesn't mean that it's an epic quest. It just story epic quest. You know, people are sort of just linking the words together. Anywho, that's pretty exciting. We're getting Polaris. We're getting a new character. We'll see what else the sneak peeks tell us. However, let's talk about who Polaris is now. Polaris is Magneto's daughter. So that is why she can control magnetism. That's why she has magnetism type powers, why she can control things that are made of metal or have metals in them. This is her with Magneto's helmet on. Very cool little artwork here. She's also featured on, they've depicted the character in real life, quote unquote, on a TV show called The Gifted. It's an okay show. There's like Sunspot and Blink. There's some other cool characters here. But she's probably one of the better characters, played by Emma Dermot, I think, or something like that. Anyways, very, very cool. So yeah, Polaris, magnets. And that's basically it. She's Magneto's daughter. She's powerful. She's been a superhero. She's been kind of a villain. Now she's back to being a superhero. She's been featured more recently with, than before, I guess. With the, after the Hickman reset and all that kind of stuff. And she's, helping the X-Men and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. Polaris. Very cool. Magnetism. Green. We could also be seeing an upgrade for Magneto. There was some rumors kicking around about Magneto Tier 4. I imagine that Polaris is going to be a Blast type like her father. So we get a new Blast female hero who's Tier 3. I mean, it's not the worst. We only have one Blast. We have two Blast female hero Tier 4s. Huh. And we also have Storm, who's already a mutant. Huh. Okay. Yeah. So Polaris does have some competition coming in right away to the game in the form of Storm and Blue Dragon. However, both of those characters are paywall, and very difficult to obtain and rank up. So we'll see if Polaris can be sort of like a value alternative to those characters. But I am genuinely quite excited for this, because if they can also give us Havoc and Omega Red in this update, and maybe somebody like Sunspot, it could be a very cool update, very cool powers, very cool animations, and then potentially meta. And at this point, as long as they're not giving us any more combat types, that's really the only thing I don't want to see anymore for the next 2 or 3 updates. I never thought I would say that I didn't want to see any more combat types, but I'm kind of just sick of them. If it's not Black Panther, I'm sick of it. And it's just sort of it's way too much. I don't think there's anything else in the sneak peek that's kind of a clue for an epic quest kind of thing. They usually, the reason why, okay, for those of you wondering why we're harping so much on the epic quest thing, they said in a recent dev note, I forgot to pull up the dev note, but they said in a recent dev note that they wanted to release 1 to 2 new World Boss Legends every year, which they did this year already. They did Ultron and Gore, and then they wanted to release 1 epic quest every year. Now, they might not get to that this year, right? This year, it might be the year that they don't have an epic quest, and then they drop one in January or February. I don't know. But it would be kind of weird for them to drop the dev note saying that they plan on doing an epic quest every year, and that dev note was back in April or May, and then not have an epic quest planned for this year, right? It would be kind of odd. So I'm hoping it's an epic quest. I think a lot of people like epic quests. There's usually multiple new characters, which again is something that I like, because it gives us more things to do than just buying uniforms and then just going back to the same old grind. The epic quest gives us cutscenes. It gives us, new missions, potentially new places to farm items. We don't know how much better that could be, but yeah. And it's nice. It's nice that they're doing this in December to sort of end the year off strong, because we know how weak January was last year and how kind of lame that was. So hopefully they do something better this year and sort of get us into the next year in better spirits, in a better vibe. And then with just a couple months to wait for Ant-Man, which should be very nice. Huge upgrade for him, Kang, you know, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know if you're excited and how excited you are for an X-Men update and the possibility of another, basically the third mutant epic quest. Thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.